Did you pray today? What do we have today? Now this is a Supermicro CSE 825 or SC825. On the box inside it says SC825, but on the internet it's CSE. Anyway, we get a whole fucking rack server for as little amount of money as 80 euros. That's right, you heard right. This whole thing cost 80 euros, and I'm gonna show you how much shit I have in here. So boom. Now this thing has a dual Xeon X5670 processors. They are a little bit older, they're around 2011, 2012 processors. Well, actually they're 6-core processors, but they're hyper-threaded to 12, and there's 2 of them. And still, they are very powerful in server applications. If you were gaming or doing something other, they probably wouldn't be as good. But for my applications, this is perfect. And as you can see, as we take off the cover, in here we have a full 64 gigs of DDR3 clocked in at 1333 megahertz. It's not that fast, but it doesn't need to be when there's so much of it. And this is a server, it doesn't need such high bandwidth stuff, and I'm not doing anything intensive that would almost pull a fucking kilowatt. Because by the way, this thing can pull over 700 watts off of the power. I think my breakers wouldn't be able to handle it for more than fucking like 5 minutes if it was on full power. As you can see in here, you have the 1 and 2, you have the 2 processors in there with the heatsinks. I will be replacing the thermal paste on this video. I did take the liberty and already install Ubuntu server on the server. I have a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue drive in there, and it's being handled by the next greatest thing, that is this thing right here. This baby in here. This is an Adaptec RAID controller with the support up to 24 terabytes of storage. It supports 8 drive bays. Right now it's configured for only 6, since two of the top ones right here aren't being used, but I think I'll manage. With only 6 drive bays. The RAID controller is also BBU protected, or it's a BBU buffer, which basically means if you're transferring data and you just for some reason your power gets cut out, the RAID card actually stores all of the data, or caches all of the data that is currently being transferred into the RAID card. So even if there was a power loss, it would still be cached into the RAID card, and it would just be able to back itself up from that. So this essentially is very hard to get this thing to lose data. I'll just bust my nut. I'll bust myself to death before I get a fucking 100% load on this thing. And on the front right here, as you can see, there's 8 drive bays. Right now only 6 are connected. I could put these 2 still working, and this is for I/O. I just have the 1 terabyte drive here. I am planning to connect these all. I created just 1 drive array right now on the RAID card to be able to install the operating system on this one. So right now it's nothing crazy. And as you can see in here, there's the onboard RAID controllers, which I won't be using because I have a RAID card. But if I was, I would have an onboard RAID controller. I have this thing here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like a black box on the side. I don't know if that's supposed to be the cache or something, because it has a micro SD card slot, but there's nothing in there. So I'm not sure, I have to figure that out. But for now, I just want to fuck around with this thing, see what I can do with it, and then if I ever need that if I ever need that much protection that I would need to enable the BBU buffer, sure, then I will just, like, if it's not automatically enabled, then I'll just see what the fuck that is. On the back, we have 4 Ethernet ports and 1 right there. VGA out, serial port in, PS2 ports, and 2 USB 2.0. It's not much, it doesn't need much, because it will be SSH'd into anyways on every second of its life. The only time that I'm not using SSH on this thing will be when I'm setting it up.
So an update, it's been 3 days and I used above 10 hours trying to troubleshoot the server, because for some reason after I changed the thermal paste I couldn't enable both CPUs at the same time anymore. Turns out there was a microscopic hair between the pins. I didn't even see it with my naked eye. I had to take a magnifying glass and look into the socket, and I saw a very small white hair that ran across all the pins on one side. And yeah, apparently that just like completely destroyed the ability to just use 2 CPUs. After that I was just able to boot it normally, but there's just a little taste of how sensitive this stuff is.
You've never really been in the trenches if you don't clean your fucking CPUs with Fairy, by the way. You've never been in the trenches. Soda! Oh. Actually, it is. The thermal paste is really new. Thanks. What the fuck? The guy already replaced my thermal paste. Oh, I was actually wrong. It is an X5675. As you can see, the guy lied. It is actually a better version. It says, it's pretty fucked up, but it's Xeon X5675, which is good. There's a bit of gunk, gamer gunk, might I say. Gamer gunk in the gamer server. I can literally just see that it was just a massive fucking block of aluminum, and then it is like, holy shit. Yeah, you can complain all you want about me not using isopropyl alcohol or whatever. Like, I built PCs since I was 9 years old. I built my first computer when I was 9 years old on a Windows 95 system, and ever since I have not once used isopropyl alcohol in my life. I've always used fucking hand washers or fucking fairy or anything that removes gamer gunk. And right now I don't even use, because this thermal paste is so new that I didn't even need to use anything. But I think a lot of these YouTubers just really tell you bullshit like, oh, well, it's good to have, but it's not a must. You can just use fucking fairy. You can use anything that pretty much removes grease or anything other stuff like that. Just be careful to not get it into the socket, or be sure to wipe everything off once you're done, because like it's conductive. That is conductive, so you want that shit out. I will never use isopropyl alcohol. I will ghetto it all the way. Good morning, supper to everyone. Now we've got the thing on the chair. It's been like 5 days. I got a long Ethernet cable, and on the back next to the wall there's a watt meter. I wanted to see how much this would pull current. With the fans that I have now, it's 150 watts on idle, by the way, which is not ideal. I even disabled hyperthreading, put a lot of other energy saving settings on in the BIOS, but I don't know, apparently it doesn't do much on this one. I think the things that mostly just eat the most amount of power is the fans, because the fans are always at minimum at 3000 RPM, and I should try to make a proper fan curve so that they wouldn't be that high, because the CPUs stay at a constant 25 degrees even when it's idle, which is good. That's very good, but it's also spinning the fans way too fast. Like even 40 or 50 would be fine, because this is not gonna experience massive bumps in load. So I felt generous. I have an OS right here, but I'll just show you guys how to create the array and how to just get it started, how to get it installed. I won't be doing a whole new install because I don't have another hard drive. Let's get this shit started. By the way, this will be loud. I'm just saying. Let's turn this shit on. BIOS message in here, if we're able to get in there. Okay, actually in here this is more important. Press Ctrl A here. This is the Adaptec BIOS for the RAID card. Okay, now the fans ramp down. So in here you have to create an array. On a server, if you have a RAID card, no matter if you even have a 1 drive or if you have 6 drives, it doesn't matter. You always have to create a array. So in here you have disk utilities, and then you will just, in here you will see there's my 1 terabyte Western Blue, but we won't be using that. So in here you can have serial select utility, PHY configuration, PHY rate. I won't be touching any of these. Auto is just fine. ZMM, I have no fucking idea what that is. Power management, I'm not gonna change this. I don't want my shit to go to sleep and then it can't wake up. Dry write cache, runtime BIOS, I haven't changed any of these. These were I just loaded the optimized defaults, and then I just created an array, because I haven't fucked around with this too much. So what you want to do is you want to go to array configuration utility, and then on the top here you can see there's manage arrays, create array, initialize drives, rescan, secure arrays, drives, global hot spares, and manage JBODs, create JBODs. Instead of arrays, JBOD is just, it's a protocol called just a bunch of disks. I've never used it. I think it is, you can just create a normal disk. I just made an array, so, but it doesn't matter because there's no 2 disks, so I don't think it matters. I'll just create another array for the other drives that I'm gonna put in there. You can see that I have server OS as the first array, and it has just the one drive, and that's all good. So what you want to do is you want to create an array. Well, actually, now it says no free space available. Please one or more arrays, JBODs, or hot spares to free up drive space. But in here, you should be able to name your drive, create the array, name it, and then add a disk to it. And after that,
it should be like basically ready. Then you can reboot the computer, and then you should be able to set, if you already have an operating system, you should be able to set it as a boot drive, or then you can just like select it from the install menu of your selected OS. Otherwise, it won't show up at all if it's not in one of those three categories. It's not in an array, JBOD, or hot spare. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Some people might get confused by that. So you want to exit the utility, rebooting the system, please wait. And that's all handy and dandy. Let's wait for it to boot. So by the way, some people might get confused because you can't get into BIOS immediately. It's because it has to always initialize the RAID controller before going into BIOS, so you'll be able to select your disk or do anything with your disks. If it takes a while, it's completely normal. As you can see, array found, BIOS installed successfully, that's all good. And while you wait for your fucking thing to load, I think the best pastime is to go into your go into the cringiest Discord server and look at it. Look at the fucking posts on the send your face channel. If you guys never have done this, this is probably the best entertainment ever. You got the tough guys. Look, oh my god, I got the Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I'm from Korean karate. Then you got the furries. Then you got the fucking, oh hell no. You got the killing of innocents. Then you got the lesbians. You know when you see these people, you just like immediately recoil. You're just like, what if I would actually meet a person like this in real life? Oh hell no. The corpse husband wannabes. Oh hell no. Choke me like you hate me. Where is my kitten? This is the type of goes, come back, I'm not done talking. Anyway, enough of this shit. So now, you got into the OS. I basically showed you the prerequisites of how to set up the server. I assume that if you buy a rack server, you know how to install an operating system on it. So, like, I think the only hard part was literally to just get the array working. That's probably what most people don't know about. And you log into your shit. And for me, this didn't have any kind of UI, but I installed an XFCE desktop for this. And what you want to do for your server, most likely you want to have a Samba share. You want to have an SSH functionality. Only the best of ghetto mouses for the ghetto server. When you got the server, you get your shit together. You will type in sudo apt install samba, and then you will have, well then, you will install Samba, which allows you to create like shared network drives. I will show soon how it actually works. I haven't installed it on this one because I have only one drive. I'll just show an example, the other server that I have on the Windows still, on how to do this properly. But at first you want to do sudo apt install xrdp, and with the xrdp you will have an xrdp connection possibility. You will first install Samba, xrdp, and then ssh. So you do sudo apt install sshd, and when you want to edit it, so you do sudo vim /etc /xrdp.ini. And with this you're able to modify your remote connection variables, which is very useful when you are on a server. You kind of need this shit if you don't want to only SSH all day, all night. So in here you really don't need to change much. One thing that I need is, without a doubt, I need to be able to forward my apps. So you should probably use Xorg or XVNC. I like Xorg more than XVNC. It's just better in my opinion. And let's see, okay, in here, so if we go sudo vim /etc /sshd_config. So in here, you really don't need to change much. If you want, in here you can see enable X11 forwarding. That's very useful for me, so it will stay on. You don't really need to change a lot, just see that this configuration exists. I'll see if I install Samba. etc Samba smb.conf. Yeah, okay, I have Samba in here. So that is the address, and on this file, when you want to add more network drives or locations, you will have to go down. So you just need to add more. So what you want to do is this, then you name your shit. You can, for example, for me it would be 2 terabyte drive, so I do 2 TB a drive, and under here you will put a path equals, and then for example, /e / home / overlord / because that's just the account, home document, that's it, and then you will do a browsable yes. You will have to set that to yes. Set the parameter of read only equals no, and then you do guest okay and no. So you won't allow guests into this. So if somebody is a guest, they can't go in and change shit. So you have to authenticate yourself every time you go in. Writable, and then you just do yes. And you might want to add the user and then just your name, but I don't really care for that much right now. So then you can just do escape, right quit, that's it. Now you have your shit set up, and then you can just restart Samba before that even works. So you have to do sudo systemctl restart smbd. Like that, now it's restarted. Now you should be able to connect to your Samba share from your Windows machine. And I can actually give you a quick peek on the other monitor how you do it. And what you want to do is you're gonna just right click your PC, map a network drive, and then select it. Give it some kind of a blah blah blah. And then you add this. If it had internet, I would just do -- giga server dash, and then you would do the name, which is 2 terabyte drive. And because I'm on Goya's Windows, you can just do reconnect at sign in, and then you can just save your credentials, and you'll be able to just add it to Windows, and that's it. That's the whole thing. That's not very hard. I think anybody should be able to do it. It's not something that you need a fucking degree for. That's basically it. That's the very basic setup of your server, and then yeah, I can just show you how the SSHing works on Windows later, and then maybe on the next video, on some other video, we will do more in-depth configuration of the server. Haro Everinian. It is the next day. So for the SSHing, you can just use the terminal. I'll just show you how it works. Or then you can use PuTTY that I usually use. It's a lot better of a program for connecting with SSH because you can save your credentials, and then you have also the possibility for X11 forwarding that you won't have on a normal terminal, but you can also do it through PowerShell. I'll just open up a PowerShell right here. Like this. This is the IP of my server, which is currently on, and I can connect it by pressing open. Then it will ask me to accept this key, fingerprint, boom, and then you can log in with this, login as Overlord, and now you're basically just in the server. As you can see, this is just my fast fetch, and then from here I can just basically do, for example, sudo vim etc xrdp /xrdp.ini, and then I can just also go through my configurations like this. On Linux, you can do almost everything from the terminal, so you can on Windows, but I'm not as familiar with the Windows one. And then if you want to connect straight through the terminal, I think you have to have some kind of a Windows, you have to enable SSH, I think. But basically how you connect to a server through a normal terminal, you do SSH overlord at, then your IP, you accept the fingerprint, boom, you're in. That's how you connect. That's how you connect to your server from SSH. Or then you can do it through a RDP client. So you can even use something like Thincast. I'm using Thincast, and then you just have to replace this with that. Boom. Then you have to type in your password and username.
Hello, Biden.
That's basically it. Very nice. Thumbs up, like, whatever. I don't care.
Man, you the first to buy Bird Game 3?
Yeah, man, got that Bird Game 3. Finna go straight home and hop on the game, man. This shit got that fully explorable bird world and all that, various bird species.